Welcome in the kitchen. I'm Lynn. I'm glad you're in my kitchen. I'm glad you decided to stop by and see what to do when you've got way too much sourdough starter. You know, it's one of those things that can get out of control very fast, very easily. And if you're like me, you're like, I don't want to just dump this down the drain. So when I was creating this starter, you had to feed it every day. So instead of dumping it down the drain, the discard, I put it in another jar and fed it too. So on day 2, I had 2. On day 3, I had 4. On day 4, I had 8. So it got out of hand, and it can very easily. So I start looking around, trying to figure out what I can do with all this besides just make bread. Right now I'm putting these iron skillets in this oven to get warm. This one is heavy. It's not hot right now, but it will be in a minute. 425 degree oven and your sourdough starter. That is all you need to make a wonderful par-baked pizza crust. You bake these for 10 minutes. Your skillet needs to be hot. You bake them for 10 minutes. Take them out, let them cool, put them in Ziploc baggies or food saver bags or however you want to do it. Put them in your freezer. Then when it's pizza night, you've already got your crust done. All you have to do is get your sauce, your toppings, pop those babies in the oven. Everybody can make their own pizza the way they want it. And the biggest part of making homemade pizza is the crust, right? I know. And this is the easiest crust you will ever make. So while these are preheating for a few minutes, I'm going to give this a stir. And yes, it was fed this morning because I just feed it. If you come into my house, you get fed. Whether you're an animal, a person, or some dough, I shall feed you because that's just what mamas do. That's what my mama always did. That's what my granny always did. And so I guess I'm just doomed to, if you come in my house, I shall feed you, right? So as you can see, it's got lots of bubbles on top. And it's just bubbly and it's happy and it's saying, oh, I'm so happy, happy. But I'm getting ready. Can y'all see me? See it? This is a new angle. I'm not sure where to sit y'all. We're going to make some pizza crusts. Pop these little babies in the oven. One of them we will go ahead and finish. I will top it in the end and let you all see what it looks like. And tell you how it tastes. Because they really are good, y'all. People think, oh, I'd have to make sourdough pizza crust. That would be hard. This is absolutely the easiest way you will ever make a pizza crust. And it is the easiest pizza crust you will ever make. It is the most flavorful thing you will ever make. And you will keep sourdough starter just to make pizza crust if you make homemade pizza. Because until I found this, I've made pizza crust. I've put herbs in them. I've done all kinds of things. But I'm just like, it's a dough and I have to mix it up right then before. And a lot of times at lunchtime, I'm thinking, well, you know, we'd have some pizza. I don't have a frozen one. I have to make a crust and that has to sit and rise for an hour. And then it has to, then you have to punch it down and you have to do all that stuff. And you want something that's quick and easy peasy. This is it. Have your sourdough starter. And this is the way you do it. All right, I'm going to turn y'all around here so you can see the stove good. Bring it down just a little bit. All right, can y'all see past this big bowl? This is how we do our pizza crust. We've got these iron skillets in here, and they are hot. Woo! Hot, hot, hot. Phew, see that? How hot that is? Put us a little bit of oil in each one of them. And this is where the easy peasy part comes in. Okay? We take our ladle and we just scoop this out just like this. Put it right in there. You make these as thick or as thin as you want. We like ours kind of thin. Made some the other day and they were a little thicker. So these I'm going to try to get real thin. Oh my gosh. Work you out and eat. It does puff up some. You pop that right back in that oven at 425. And here we go with our second one. This one is smaller. It just takes one. And then I just kind of take my skillet right like that. We're going to set this timer for 10 minutes. That's how easy it is to make this pizza crust. Okay, can y'all see these? This is my second run. They're shrinking up more, but I'm making them thinner than I did the others. And y'all, this is a good way to season your skillets or to keep them seasoned because you're cooking them at a high temperature with just a little bit of oil. And that oil just bakes right down in there, which is what you do if you're seasoning a skillet. You get it really hot and you put oil in it. You let that oil just saturate that iron. I got to get my pot holders because if I don't, y'all, I'm going to take a hold of this skillet with my bare hand and y'all are going to see and hear me say a lot of bad words. So the big one, I'm putting 2 scoops in. Right like this. Okie doke. Grab this. This skillet's heavy to try to get back down in there. All right. Y'all just keep going till you use up as much or as little dough as you want to use up. And you want these skillets hot when you put this in there. There we go. Let me pop this one in there. This is what fits in my oven at one time, the big one and then that smaller one. If you've got a great big iron skillet or great big iron pot or iron cookie sheet or anything like that you can use. You can use a pizza stone. I don't like to because I'm afraid it's going to run off and get down in my oven. And my oven has a self-cleaning feature on it, but it gets so deathly hot and it burns the back here. And so I don't like to use it maybe every 6 months. I like to try to keep it just wiped out as best I can so that I don't have to turn that on. We'll be back in 10 more minutes to go again. And I will probably make 5 large and 5 small crusts this time. That's what I made last time. And that should do us for a while. And then I'll put this in a smaller container, set it in my refrigerator. When we get low on pizza crust, I will bring it out and I will start feeding it. And I'll feed it twice a day or 3 times a day. As long as it's still bubbling, you just keep feeding it. And the bigger it gets, the happier it gets. And then you can make your pizza crust, pop them back in the freezer, put your starter back in the refrigerator, save it again. So that's the way I do my pizza crusts, and they're easy peasy. I mean, you don't get easier than that. So we'll be back in a few minutes when I get them all done except for the last one. And then we're going to put a little bit of sauce and some cheese and toppings on it, and we're going to bake it and try a little bit of pizza, okay? Okay, you all, we're getting ready to start making us a pizza here. I've got that crust left right there in that skillet. Got me some sauce. We're going to pour just a little bit of that on there. Just like that. And we'll get me something here to spread it around with. There we go. Let's get this sauce spread around to the edges. Just like that. And this dough is pretty much done at this point. You might want to let it brown. You want it to brown a little bit on the bottom and get a little more done. But it just makes a really good crust, y'all, and so super easy to make. They're just so easy. All right, let's see, what have we got here? I think we've got some mushrooms. We're going to put some mushrooms on there. We're just going to chop up a few here. Okay, now we're going to add us some cheese. I've just got grated mozzarella cheese there. I'm just going to add that to the top. Get me a little bit more out of another bag. I had a couple small bags there that just had a little bit in them. So let's see. Get lots of good cheese on it. And some Parmesan there. Just sprinkle that across the top. I usually try to add some ham and pepperoni and things like that, but this is just a really quick one to show you all how good they are and so forth. So let's pop that in the oven, and when that gets done, we'll be back. Okie doke, here's our pizza. Yummy, yummy. Look at the crust. It's really not brown much on bottom, even though it was in the oven for quite a while. That is a wonderful chewy crust. I like a chewy crust. If we'd left it longer, maybe put some cornmeal on the bottom of the pan, it would have been a little more crunchy. The edges are crunchy. Excellent flavor. Now y'all know how to make the easy peasy sourdough pizza crust. When you've got sourdough taking over your kitchen, you know what to do with it. And I've got a whole stack of them over here. I will package them, put them in my freezer, and we'll have pizza whenever we want pizza lunch. I mean, it's easy. Just pop it in there on a pizza stone or iron skillet or whatever you've got. Put your toppings on it, bake it, and you are really good to go. So that'll be all for this one. Remember to like, share, subscribe, comment, ring the bell for notifications. And I'll see you all in the next one. Bye for now.